Welcome to Athens, Georgia. Tonight at the Stegman Coliseum, two teams battling for SEC tournament playoff positioning as the Georgia Lady Bulldogs play host to the Arkansas Razorbacks. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy. And Coach, this is the first game for Georgia since Joni Taylor gave birth to her second child, Drew Simone, on Tuesday morning. That means Karen Lang will be the acting head coach. But whoever's coaching Georgia tonight, they knew they were going to have to do something about the SEC's #2 scorer, Chelsea Dungy of the Razorbacks.
Hey, if you like scoring, buckle up, because this young lady knows how to do it on all three levels. She can do it off of the bounce by getting to the rim. So good at creating space to get her pull-up jumper off. Already has 43 makes from the three-point line to this point in the season. But what makes her so dangerous is her ability to get to the free throw line. She already has 41 points against Auburn earlier this season. Excited to see what she does tonight.
And Dungy not only averaging just 19 points per game, but also 21 points per game in SEC action. That's a good look at Karen Lang. She'll be the acting coach here tonight. And Joni Taylor is in the building, and we'll talk more about that as the evening goes on. Mackenzie Ingram is the third member of our team tonight, all SEC forward with the Georgia Lady Bulldogs. And Mackenzie, you've been through this situation before.
Yes, just 2 years ago, I was here on the team that Coach Karen had to come and step in for Joni. But honestly, it wasn't that big of a change. Joni and Karen are very similar with their coaching styles, and Karen's very vocal in practice and in the games. So it just seemed to her wasn't that hard at all.
All right, thank you, Mackenzie. We look forward to checking in with Mackenzie throughout the course of the evening. There's Joni Taylor. And Christy, what a superwoman. Just 48 hours ago gave birth to Drew Simone, her second daughter, and she's back in the building with the team tonight. But Karen will be the acting coach.
Well, I think it speaks to Joni Taylor's belief in that this is also her family. She's treated these players as though they're her own kids, and it's about the culture, and it is about greater than me, about we. Not surprised to see head coach Joni Taylor in the building tonight.
And she's got the team in very capable hands with Karen Lang, who went 4-2 in this situation when the first child, JC, was born 2 years ago.
Well, anytime you watch this team practice, you know that Joni Taylor has empowered her coaching staff. Do not expect anything to change, whether Joni was here tonight or not, because of the way they have prepared all season long. Every coach has a voice. Tonight, just the loudest voice is going to be Karen Lang.
Well, that's a big storyline. The other big storyline is these two teams are battling for tournament positioning. Mike Neighbors' team currently 10th in the SEC standings. Georgia currently tied for 7th. If the tournament started today, these two teams will be playing against each other in the second round.
Well, the first battle was epic, a game of runs. Each team responded. UGA had a huge third to separate themselves. I expect more of the same this evening.
Chelsea Dungy had 28 points when they played 3 weeks ago. Just an absolute fabulous score. It'll be exciting to watch her play tonight. Georgia in white starts on offense.
Georgia won 80-72 in Arkansas on January 31st.
So a turnover for Georgia. They committed 22 the last time these two teams played, and the Razorbacks turned that into 27 points. As you take a look at the starting five for the Razorbacks: Toll-Free, Monk, Mason, Dungy, and Williams. Williams coming off a big game against Kentucky on Sunday. Dungy takes the first shot, and Cole saves the rebound. And here's a look at the starting five for the Lady Bulldogs. Cole, Conley, Morrison, Caldwell, and Robinson. Conley and Robinson, the only Lady Bulldogs to start all 26 games this season.
Not an ideal start for UGA. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. It's not a matter of if UGA can score. It is going to be a matter of can they take care of a ball to create scoring opportunities.
Ball was knocked out of bounds by Caldwell from behind. Maya Caldwell playing very well recently. Season high 15 points on Monday night against Ole Miss, and she scored double figures for the last 6 games.
You just see a different Maya Caldwell from November, December games. One very confident young lady now stepping on the court, ready to knock down shots.
Mason takes the 3, and the Razorbacks will launch a lot of 3-pointers. They're 20th in the NCAA with 651 3-point attempts as the Lady Bulldogs crack the scoreboard.
And that is where UGA is at their best, turning their defense into offense before the opponent can set up in the half-court D.
Monk misses the 3-point shot.
Ball just over a minute in. Caldwell, the head of the key, goes to Cole.
Morrison has played 66 minutes the last 2 games. She misses the 3. Really starting to round back into form after missing the first 8 games of the season and 10 total with a knee injury. Dish to Williams, gets the layup, beat Robinson down the lane.
Matt, one thing to watch as this game continues is the legs. How fresh is UGA as we get to that 3rd and 4th quarter, knowing that they just played on Monday night against an Ole Miss ball club here at Stegman.
That's right. Arkansas played at Kentucky on Sunday and did not have a game midweek last week. So they might be a little bit fresher as Toll-Free hits the 3-pointer. Arkansas has the 5-2 lead.
Cole on the left wing to Conley, between the circles to Morris. Hugh faces up.
2 areas in their first meeting early this season that UGA was really able to exploit when they had the ball was the screen on the ball offense and the high-low game. Eager to see the adjustments Arkansas makes tonight as we see Gabby Conley come off that high on-ball screen and knock down the jumper.
And she has struggled with her shot the last 2 games, had gone 4 for 21 and 1 for 9 on her threes. Williams working against the Robinson, has to give it up. Pass stolen by Cole.
Cole play in the passing lane. Cole backs it out on the left wing. Penetrates, probes.
Inside to Robinson, nicely done. And of course, Taja Cole, #1 in the SEC, #6 in the nation, 6.4 assists per game. That's her first dish of the game.
And I thought Taja Cole in their first meeting was a big difference maker, not just from the stat line in terms of her points, but it was her ability to set her teammates up for easy scoring opportunities.
Dungy hit the runner. As you pointed out in our pregame, she just can score in so many different ways. And we have a foul called on Calaiya Robinson.
Defense travels with this UGA ball club, and none do it better than Taja Cole. Shoots the gap, gets the steal, has the wherewithal to pull it out, and then finds Calaiya Robinson underneath the basket for an easy 2.
Monk on the drive, goes by Cole and dishes it in with the left hand. Cole has scored 25 points in 2 of her last 5 games. She looked like she was grimacing in pain on her way down the floor. I believe it's her hand. You can see her right hand is taped up, and I believe she might have hurt that hand again.
What happened during the Auburn game, twisted her ankle, went out to get it taped, came back in and fell awkwardly on that hand. I mean, in shoot around she looked fine today, but it looked like it just kind of got bumped there. And Matt, that's something to watch. The inbounds pass just came to Monk, and she did not even use that right hand to catch the ball. Batted it down with her left hand, so she's obviously in some pain.
Monk to the corner, and Mason, rim out, and Cole gets the long rebound. Stephanie Paul can't handle the pass from Robinson. That'll be the 4th turnover for Georgia. They had committed just 31 total in their last 3 games after a season worst 28 in that overtime loss against Auburn.
When I think that correlates with why I feel like their best basketball has been in these last 3 games. They've scored better, they've defended better. Unfortunately, had a tough loss at South Carolina, but otherwise 2 wins against Ole Miss as well as against Florida.
Cole's pass was deflected out of bounds by Dungy. Jenna Stady will check in.
So Matt, this is the chess match between the coaching staffs now. UGA is going to go big, which means on offense they definitely have the advantage to try to pound the ball inside to Jenna Stady. However, on defense, can she get back in time against this fast-paced Arkansas offense?
Yeah, she played only 11 minutes when they played 3 weeks ago, scored 6 points. In a game that's fast-paced like this with a run-and-gun team like Arkansas, be interesting to see how long she can stay on the floor. Conley gets through the defense and gets the layup. So Conley has scored 6 of Georgia's first 10 points.
I think Gabby heard you talk about she's been struggling from the field, and she's squashing that rumor right here and now.
No doubt about it, averaging 12.4 points per game. Dungy with the runner. So dangerous. She'll put the ball on the floor. She'll hit that runner. She can hit a 3, and she can get to the free throw line. In fact, in that epic 41-point performance against Auburn, she was 17 of 19 at the free throw line.
Left wing now to Morrison. Morrison to Stady in the circle. Back to the basket.
Cole to Paul, missed up close and got hammered on the putback. I believe that's going to be on Williams. And it will be on Kiara Williams as we reach our first timeout, and Arkansas leading by 1. Well, Joni Taylor surprised some of us. She is here tonight. Now, we had a bet here at the broadcast table. Christy and I lose. Mackenzie, you win. You knew that she would be here tonight.
Yes, I won the bet. I knew Joni was going to come. It does not surprise me at all. She is Superwoman, as everyone calls, and so to see her walk through those doors, I know brought smiles to everyone's face here in Stegman Coliseum.
Very interesting. Here is what happened Monday night. This is about 9 o'clock Eastern time. Hugs after they beat Ole Miss on SEC Network. 10 hours later, she gives birth to her second daughter, 6-pound, 8-ounce Drew Simone. And then at about 6:58 Eastern time tonight, here she comes with her escort through the doors. Got that game look on her face.
And she probably worked out this morning at Orange Theory. I mean, I just feel like the most useless person in the world when I look at what she has done just in a 24-hour span, much less to be here today. It says so much about her belief in this team, this program, this institution.
And you just love the confidence that she has. And JC, her oldest daughter, is here watching tonight. And, you know, and Mackenzie, I love the confidence. You see, she is taking on the role of an assistant coach tonight because Karen Lang is the acting coach. So she's outside the huddle. You saw talking to Calaiya there just a few moments ago.
To me is yesterday I went to visit and she fell asleep mid-sentence when we were talking. So I don't even know how she has the energy to be here tonight, but it's just amazing to me.
It is amazing, and I think, Christy, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Yes, she does have 2 daughters at home now, JC and Drew, but these are also her daughters.
It just speaks to the culture of this program. You know, I step back now and I'm like, how stupid was I to bet against her being here? Because you know what being a coach means to her. You know how much these players mean to her. And you know what? The one thing about being a head coach, you never stop. It's a 24/7 job, in season, out of season, because it's about these young women on the floor.
Stephanie Paul at the foul line as we return to game action. Paul, 69% free throw shooter, averaging 6.5 points per game. Since she had that big December, you'll remember she scored 12.2 points per game during the month of December. She's averaged just 5 points per game in SEC play.
Well, some of that is it's SEC play. She's an undersized post player because of the position she's playing, so that affects it. But I think she just kind of hit that wall that most players hit from a mental perspective, and it's nice to see her kind of get that fire back these last couple of games.
Northcross Baker with the three-pointer. She hit only 1 3-pointer, 1 basket in the game on Sunday. That came with 20 seconds left to tie the score at 59-59 at Kentucky. Although once again the Razorbacks had trouble closing out that one-possession game and lost 61-59.
Incredible shot by Ryan Howard at the buzzer to beat Arkansas. But I don't even know how Northcross Baker made that corner shot to get them back in the game.
Cole off the side iron, and Golden chases it down. Golden playing here in her home state. She's from Ocilla, Georgia. Pass into Taylor Thomas, and Stady stuffs it.
It's a fine line when UGA puts up a shot. Do they crash hard and be vulnerable in transition? Well, it doesn't matter. Stady can get back and protect the paint like she just did to block that shot out of bounds.
Averaging 1.7 blocks per game, which is number 4 in the SEC. 2-point lead Arkansas, just under the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter. Dungy has scored 4 of their 14 points, and they really are harassing her with Cole up there playing tight defense. Golden tries to get through a screen. Pass was intercepted. Inside, the assist from Conley, and the and one opportunity for Robinson.
So a key for UGA will be, if they can't score initially at a transition, can they slow down enough to, whether you want to call it secondary transition or early offense, and create these mismatches. Here we see the high-low into Calaiya Robinson. She draws the foul to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
Robinson now has 5 points, and I think one of the other storylines, and we have so many here tonight, Coach, is the point guard battle between Cole and Monk.
2 point guards that are so good off the bounce, creating shots, not just for themselves, but for their teammates. And I just thought they really got caught up in the track meet during the first game between these two teams. And that caused uncharacteristic turnovers by both of them. 6 turnovers by Monk, 2 of those just right off her foot, 5 by Cole.
Hugh Morrison set and got the pass back and nailed the 3.
I like that 3-point opportunity by Q Morrison so much more than her earlier attempt. She didn't quite know what to do in her first attempt, so she shot. This one she caught in rhythm and put it up and knocked it in. You know, Georgia not even really on the NCAA tournament bubble right now, but if they get Q Morrison back full strength, and it looks like they're getting that way, what kind of run can this Georgia team make down the stretch here with 4 games left in the regular season and then the tournament? Well, this is where I'll go back to their Florida game. I thought it was the best game I've seen this UGA team compete, and as far as their execution on both ends of the court for 40 minutes. That's what we've been expecting from this ball club all season long. If they can play at that intensity and that level of execution, there's no reason to think they can't rattle things off. But the biggest thing right now, stay healthy, stay hungry, and take it 1 game at a time. Golden gets the basket. As I mentioned, she's a Georgia girl, played at America Sumter High School before starting her career at Florida State and then transferring to Arkansas. And so I mentioned that early offense of UGA, and that's another 2 points that we just saw Cole take and score. Oh my goodness! Nicely executed, but Georgia couldn't get the payoff at the end there. I don't know how Calaiya reeled that pass in. Cole probably led her just a little bit too far. Amazing job just to keep it alive and get the shot opportunity. Golden working around a screen. Northcross Baker, second 3-pointer she's hitting this game.
And it's Georgia 20, Arkansas 19. Another terrific game between the Lady Bulldogs.
Over 82% of her field goal attempts are from behind the 3-point line.
Hey, 3s count more than 2, right?
They do.
And in terms of Mike Neighbors' system, he believes in the 3. He wants 3-point opportunities. He wants free throws. That stuff in between, you better be wide open.
Well, they're 3 of 8 on their 3s to start the game. They haven't been to the free throw line yet. And the ball lost out of bounds. I believe Georgia might have deflected it. And so it'll be Arkansas's ball, 1:02 to play in the quarter. Dungy comes out, so they get her a 1-minute rest on top of the break you'll get between quarters.
You're seeing that with both ball clubs. They've got bodies on the benches, but this is crunch time. Both coaches know how important this game is, so you're going to try to steal breaks for your key players in the quarters, before a timeout, before halves, trying to rest them and give them those breaks anytime you can from a mental and physical perspective.
Yeah, and Coach Neighbors said they ran out of gas in the 4th quarter that lost 3 weeks ago, and he said that was the first time that had happened to them all season long as Golden gets another basket.
Well, anyone who's watched this UGA ball club knows that they want to play fast. They want to get up and down. They want to score in transition. And I do agree with him from that perspective. I just thought it was the first time. You may practice fast, but when you're having to go offensively and defensively fast, that's something that's difficult to simulate in practice every day.
Coach, how about this? 41 points scored total in the first 9 minutes of this game.
Not surprised at all. We knew it was going to be a high-scoring affair. For me, it was going to be, is it going to come from the 3-point line from an Arkansas perspective, or the free throw line, or is it going to be in transition from a UGA perspective?
How about off the inbounds, 3rd assist of the game for Cole as Robinson gets her 3rd basket. Golden did not play when these two teams played 3 weeks ago. She was out with an injury. Ball got knocked away from behind as Georgia went for the steal. Out of bounds. It'll be Arkansas's ball. Shot clock difference of 4 seconds, game clock and shot clock.
And I thought Galdening out was a key reason why Arkansas kind of lost that steam. Monk had to handle the ball against pressure the entire game and look to score. That wears on a young player.
And a blocking foul on Stady. That'll be number 1 on her. Of course, foul trouble has been an issue for Jenna Stady this season. She leads the team with 5 DQs.
Well, screen on the ball defense for both these ball clubs is going to be so key, and it's going to be interesting to see how coaches make in-game adjustments to help their players.
Thomas lost it out of bounds, and then Galden couldn't save it. So Galden is making her presence felt here early in this ball game, and Neighbors says that, hey, Galden is a big reason why Monk is having such a big senior season.
You want competition in practice every day. It makes players better. It makes them rise to the occasion. And it also, as we discussed, gives them rest, allows them to play at their optimal position and pace.
Morrison takes the 3. That's a rim out. Galden has it. Clock's going to wind down here, and that's the end of the first quarter. Wow, fun first quarter. 22-21. Lady Bulldogs shot 53% from the floor in the first half, and so did Arkansas. Catch your breath. We'll come back for the second quarter in just a moment.
Deserves to save money. Get fired up about our low now.
When these two teams met 3 weeks ago, the Lady Bulldogs had lost 3 straight. Arkansas had lost, or rather won 4 straight, and Arkansas hasn't won since.
Well, some of that's the competition now, and Coach Neighbors even admitted to it. We had a pretty optimal beginning part of the SEC season. It's really kicked up now, and when you play better competition, your margin of error has shrunk. One thing about this Arkansas team is we know they want to live and die by the long ball. However, if you're not knocking them down, you got to get rebounds. He concedes that they're not going to be the best rebounding team, but they've got to do those other things correctly, and a big part of that is the play of his point guard, Malika Monk, who was tremendous in so many ways in that first meeting. Led this team, 19 points, 6 assists, 4 steals, but unfortunately, as we talked about, that pace kind of affected her overall game, and she wound up with 6 turnovers.
Yeah, Cole ended up having 12 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds in that game. That was the game after she had been suspended for the Alabama game for a violation of team rules. Left alone, Williams underneath, and a triple team forces it up there and in nonetheless. Had 2 of the premier shot blockers in the SEC draped around her, and she still got the basket in.
Well, great read, first of all, that she slipped, knowing that Stady was going to hedge on that on-ball screen. But even more, great patience underneath the rim to allow those 2 great shot blockers to get up off their feet, and she finishes.
Tolfree with the 3. Arkansas at 4. Second three-pointer that Tolfree has hit in this game. That's 4 now for Arkansas.
And she's coming off where she did not score at all against Kentucky, had been struggling from the field in her last 5 ball games. Nice to see her get her shot back.
Robinson, mid-range jumper, buried it. Robinson now has 9 points and a rebound. That rebound, by the way, gave her 200 for the season. 3rd straight season she's grabbed at least 200 boards. And Dungy, blocking foul going to be called on Georgia, and Conley going to pick it up. That'll be her 2nd personal.
I give Conley credit for trying to rotate in there. But this is the patience I was referring to when it comes to Williams down low. Slip, knew 2 huge shot blockers were around her, just gives a little head fake to get him up in the air. And then the very next possession, at a transition, Tolfree spots up in the corner, and that's the way Arkansas likes to run and execute their offense.
2 free throws here for Dungy. First free throw attempts for her tonight. But she is number 1 in the SEC in free throws made at 138, and free throws attempted at now 164. Danetta Johnson checks in for the first time tonight. Georgia's got 3 freshmen that they rotate in there early in the ball game. And once the coaching staff is able to determine which one's playing the best, that's the one that'll be on the floor in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Well, I think anyone who's coached is not surprised that the freshmen have been inconsistent. And the good news is one of them seems to show up every night. The bad news is you just don't know who it is, and it's usually only one of them. When all 3 of these figured out, they're going to be great players within this UGA ball program.
Yeah, well, speaking of a freshman, it was Donetta Johnson who grabbed that offensive rebound right there. Ball got knocked out of bounds, so Georgia gets it underneath with a fresh 29 to work with. Just 1 second ticked off that 30-second clock, and again, Arkansas knocks it out of bounds.
Quick. 36 steals, 3rd on the team. Tolfrey got 30.
Karen Lang, the acting coach. She starred at Iowa. Was a point guard for the Hawkeyes, led them to their first ever NCAA Final Four back in 1993.
2 minutes into the second.
And when she was done playing at Iowa, she immediately started her coaching career at Virginia Tech as an assistant coach there. Morrison, another 3-pointer for Q Morrison. That's her 2nd. And both of them for Georgia tonight have come from her hands.
Well,
Morrison takes a tumble.
Sorry, man. One of the highest percentage 3-point opportunities you can get is the inside-out look. Great patience by Q Morrison to spot up after she went into Calaiya Robinson and just knock it down.
See Q Morrison wearing that bulky brace on her left knee after she had surgery for torn lateral meniscus on November 1st, and as we mentioned before, missed the first 8 games of the season, missed a total of 10 games because of that injury. Coach Lang says that knee brace really is just kind of a comfort for her, kind of a safety net for her, makes her feel a little bit more comfortable when she's out there on the floor.
Well, Q came back early December, medically cleared, everything's fine. There's one thing to be medically okay, physically okay. It's another thing to emotionally, mentally believe in that injured knee. And I think we're seeing from Q in the last 3 games that she trusts that knee again, and she's just playing like we've always done she's capable of.
Wow, nice execution for the Lady Bulldogs on the high-low, but they don't get the payoff at the end as Paul couldn't put it down.
Boy, that's just 2 points you gotta have there. Steph, a tenacious competitor.
27-27. Matt Stewart, Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy, and Mackenzie Ingram with you tonight. Next to last home game for Georgia. They've got one more 2 Sundays from now against Kentucky. Cole with the rebound. Races all the way down the floor and lays it in.
And that's where I think UGA is the most dangerous in transition. There is no outlet pass because of the speed of Cole. She gets the rebound and she's just pushing it until someone gets between her and the basket. And as we just saw, no one did.
Tolfrey is able to get her own miss, gets it out to Mason. And Robinson snags the rebound. Robinson, 8 rebounds per game. She's number 7 in the conference. Inside to Paul. Missed again.
Stephanie Paul is struggling. Razorbacks with Williams at the right elbow. Mason on the right.
Mason at the elbow shoots it up over Paul.
We are tied again. Jalen Mason with her first points. It's 29-29.
40 points in the paint by UGA in their first meeting.
Yeah.
Today, they're struggling to finish down low. They only have 7.
Donetta Johnson got fouled on the shot. She'll go to the line. Yeah, Coach Neighbors said that they probably were a little bit overreactive to the fact that the Lady Bulldogs hit 7 3-pointers in the game and allowed them to score 44 points in the paint in that game. It was a big factor in Georgia being able to win that game by 8 in Fayetteville.
Well, I think UGA fans are used to Calaiya Robinson posting up down low, Jenna Stady being the one posting up down low. In that first meeting between Arkansas and UGA, it was Maya Caldwell. It was Kayla Hubbard. I mean, it was other guards as well because they got the matchups that they wanted. They were very patient offensively to exploit the Arkansas defense.
Mike Neighbors coaching at his alma mater, but it was his great success in 4 seasons at Washington that got him a ticket back to Fayetteville.
I call him the Renaissance coach. I mean, he just looks at the game in an unbelievable way, a great teacher of the game. And I got to tell you, I was most impressed today with the energy, the passion that this Arkansas ball club entered this arena and practiced with. Usually when you're on a 5-game losing streak in the month of February, it's tough to rally and motivate your team. None of that out of Arkansas right now.
Robinson, the first player to double digits with 11 and a timeout called by Arkansas as Georgia's taken a 32-29 lead.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Thank you, bud. By either team, and Karen Lang said that pace of play would be a major factor tonight. And so far, Coach, Georgia has been able to play just as fast as Arkansas, no problem.
Well, it's their style of play. It's where their base is. So much of their offense, in terms of overall point production, comes from their transition. And where does that start? With their defense. Calaiya Robinson with a steal and the layup in transition. And we've seen a number of times where Taja Cole shoots a gap or disrupts the defense as well as rebounds and takes it coast to coast. This young lady, there are usually 5 gears in a car. I think she has a 6, the way she can just take it up a notch when she has the ball in the open court.
Well, the Lady Bulldogs have come up with 6 steals so far in this game, and they've forced 6 Arkansas turnovers already. You'll have to remember that Arkansas is one of the best teams in the nation, fewest turnovers, 9th in the nation, averaging less than 12 turnovers per game. They're already halfway to that number here, just 15 minutes into this game. Johnson tried to save it with one hand and couldn't. Let's check in with McKenzie. She was over there listening in on the Arkansas huddle. What was Coach Neighbors saying?
Yes, Coach was just talking about making sure to get back. He said Georgia's coming and they're coming fast. So making sure that you get back, even if you're not matched up with the right man, just stop the ball, because that's where they're really struggling right now.
Thank you, Mac. That's Monk with the basket.
Yeah, I like that from Coach Neighbors, because I think sometimes players are so worried about getting to their player that they leave other players wide open under the basket. You don't have a man off a miss usually. You need to get matched up and make a team have to score in the half court.
Johnson missed the three-point attempt. Mason will bring it across for Arkansas. Dungy, three-pointer.
And likewise for UGA in transition offense, you do not want to leave Dungy open at the three-point line. You got to get back and get matched up.
Wow, nice touch pass by Calaiya Robinson inside to Caldwell for the easy basket.
Well, that started the play before last. Caldwell believed that Dungy threw her to the floor at that time. Caldwell comes down, and she's the one getting physical. Kind of got away with a push-off to get that lob position and make it an easy pass for Calaiya to hit her down low.
Dungy gets underneath Robinson, and Georgia comes away with it. Robinson with just enough defense to make her change her shot and miss.
The big lead for both teams has been 4 points.
I mean, this example of transition offense by UGA is what I mean by the growth of this ball club. I can remember times in December, early January, where it didn't matter. They were just going to try to get to the rim. That time, wisely, they pull it up, work the ball, get an easy 2.
Robinson now with 13 points and 6 rebounds, closing in on yet another double-double. She has 7 of them this season.
One thing's for sure, Calaiya Robinson likes playing in Stegman Coliseum. She's picking up right where she left off from a big game against Ole Miss on Monday.
Northcross Baker has now missed her last 4 three-point attempts after hitting her first 2. And a foul's going to be called away from the ball, I believe, on Arkansas.
Yeah, Dungy got caught right there trying to defend Maya Caldwell down low. It's getting a little chippy between the 2 players in the low post.
And Coach Neighbors isn't happy about it. And he just got teed up. Decanter had enough of his lip and just teed him up.
Well, I do believe the officials are going back to the monitor now to see what transpired between both Caldwell and Dungy. before that foul was called.
Georgia has a 36-31 lead and a chance to extend it here.
Now, Dawn Marsh will step over there and consult with Coach Neighbors.
We still just checked with our PA man.
While Dee Cantor and Amy Bonner at the monitor.
They told us who the foul was actually on. All right, so the foul is on Arkansas's Chelsea Dungy. That'll be her first and the team's third.
Waiting to get an explanation from Dee Cantor as to the nature of the call.
4 team fouls on Arkansas. So that is 4 team fouls on Arkansas. 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the second quarter. Georgia leading Arkansas 36-31.
Okay, well, this is what they were looking at as Dee Cantor is coming this way. We're trying to get an explanation. You see Calaiya at the line taking free throws and hit the first. So Georgia now with their largest lead of the game at 37-31.
The exception of last Thursday.
Dee Cantor just said they went to the monitor to see if there was anything unsportsmanlike in that foul. She said no, just a common foul. However, during that exchange, she did give a technical foul to Coach Neighbors on the sideline.
Yeah, so the free throws taken by Calaiya Robinson were technical free throws. They were not for a foul. And so Georgia gets the ball on top of this. A potential big swing in the score right here as Georgia now up by 7. Johnson in the paint hits the runner. Danetta Johnson with her first basket of the game.
Great body control by Danetta Johnson. This is a lefty who went strong to her left, elevates and finished with the right hand.
Georgia now on an 8-0 run. Dungy underneath in traffic, stays with it, had her shot blocked, and Caldwell comes away with it for Georgia.
And man, that's where I believe the shot blocking of Jenna Stady affected Dungy once she got the ball in the paint. She knew she couldn't just catch and go up with it, waited around, and Jenna Stady was still able to get the block.
3-second violation on Caldwell.
For the Lady Bulldogs, that's turnover number 6.
So Georgia an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes to take a 9-point lead. And the Razorbacks have now gone 2.5 minutes without scoring. Golden blows by Morrison. Golden with her third basket.
Well, because of Arkansas's offensive system and the number of prolific scorers around the perimeter, they're never out of a game. I'll say it again, this was such a game of runs between these two teams in their first meeting. UGA was up 10 points in the fourth quarter. Before that quickly, Arkansas cut it to 2.
How about Stady with the rainbow three-pointer? She's now 9 for 20 on her threes this season. Dungy with the tricky dribble, had it knocked away, but a foul's going to be called on Georgia. Oh, wow, an offensive foul called on Arkansas. Ball going back the other way.
Well, this is where Williams has to know the scouting report. If you don't close out hard on Jenna Stady, she has the ability to raise up and knock down that 3.
And Dungy was called for that offensive foul, so she now has 2 personals. And she's going to come off the floor, at least for the moment. Maybe for the rest of the half.
Well, the last 2 minutes of any game are so critical before you go to half. But this is huge for Arkansas. Can they stay in this game with their star player on the bench?
Johnson now with the basket. That's her second basket during this run. Georgia up 12 now. And a timeout called by Mike Neighbors, who's still not happy with Dee Cantor.
With the venerable veteran official, Dee Cantor.
I like the timeout by Mike Neighbors. Right now, it's critical that they get a bucket. He's got to settle this team down. Who's going to be the go-to scorer right now within the half court? Hey, it's a drive, react. They use one another's body positions to cut off, to create offense. Whether that's off the bounce, they force you to help, and that's when they get those threes. This team was definitely scattering and teetering. Love the call by the coach.
Yeah, it's a 13-2 run, but out of the timeout, he does not put Dungy back on the floor. Are you surprised by that?
I'm not, because At this point, she kind of lost her cool. Those were 2 fouls off ball by Dungey. She's got to settle down right now with her emotional state, which appears from this sideline to be out of whack a little bit. Get her to calm down and then put her back in.
Well, neither of their top 2 scorers are on the floor right now because Monk's not out there either.
Arkansas going to run it now. Fresh 30 with a minute to go.
Tolfree is their top scorer that's on the floor right now on the dribble. Under a minute to play in the half. Nice pass to Williams, and Williams with the basket.
Well, they know that UGA is hedging. By hedging, I mean they're jumping out into the dribbling lane of that ball handler, which leaves the post a clear path to slip to the basket. They've got UGA twice now in this second quarter.
And Williams is 3 for 3 from the floor, and Georgia commits the foul away from the ball.
Georgia might take her out.
So 10-point lead. That foul called on Georgia gives Arkansas a chance to cut this thing below double digits to head to the locker room. There's a difference of 5 seconds in the game clock and the shot clock. Tolfree, contact, absorbs it, launches the 3 and buries it. Third 3-pointer for Tolfree.
Well, like I said, your 2 leading scorers are on the bench. It doesn't matter because all of these players on the floor right now are ready to score for Arkansas.
She's their leading scorer right now with 9 points, down to 7 on the clock here in the half. Rebound. Outlet to Golden, out of control, loses it out of bounds, and Georgia's going to get an extra possession here with 2.3 on the clock.
Very fortuitous for UGA because there was no one back in transition defense. If Golden had been able to gather that outlet pass in, it was going to be an easy 2 in transition for Arkansas.
They take Tolfree off, Zimmerman on for defensive purposes now with 2.3 on the clock. Let's see if Georgia could steal a basket here right before the horn.
A great game with Arkansas here tonight. Tasha Cole set to throw it in. Cole. Looking.
Inbounds to Stady, turns around, misses it. That's the end of the half. But Arkansas, after falling behind by as much as 12, able to cut it back to 7, going to the locker room.
And it's huge because, as we talked about, his 2 best scorers, Monk and Dungey, on the bench as they crept back into this ball game.
Halftime here in Athens with the Lady Bulldogs on top by 7. 7 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the floor, and 3 of 3 at the line so far in this game.
This is a senior who is playing with a sense of urgency in the last 4 games. I feel like this is what we've expected from Calaiya all season long. The game has slowed down, and she's just playing at such a high level compared to earlier this season.
Coming off a 24-point and 5-rebound effort in Monday night's win against Ole Miss, after she kind of struggled at South Carolina a week ago. Last Thursday night, battled strep, had only 7 points, 5 rebounds, and Georgia only lost by 8 in Columbia that night. You got to wonder, had they had a full-strength Calaiya, might have been a different story. Certainly would have been a huge win for Georgia as they try to build that resume and work themselves just onto an NCAA tournament bubble.
They were never out of that game. As explosive as South Carolina is, I thought UGA packed the defense and impacted South Carolina's attempts to score. And they had a chance twice. Good looks, just couldn't get them to fall. Or who knows how that outcome could have been.
We'll see if things are different for Chelsea Dungey here in the second half. Only 5 points, 2 of 8 in 17 minutes. But watch out, she's got some James Harden in her in that Auburn game, and when she scored 41, she only had 8 at halftime, but then scored 17 in the fourth quarter, 15 in the third quarter, so she can explode at any time.
Well, here's where I'm going to compliment Dungey. This scoring acumen that she has, she's doing it basically on 15 shots a game. So that's non-Harden-like. That's a lot more efficient than Harden, in my opinion.
I was just talking about her scoring ability. Not the fact she doesn't pound the ball into the floor with 55 dribbles before shooting.
We're seeing Arkansas, every time the ball goes inside, the guard's kind of going and digging in a little bit to try to help support Williams down on the block in terms of her low post defense.
Williams picks up her 2nd personal foul.
Great patience by UGA. They know they want to get the ball in. Tolfree dumps down on Robinson. She kicks it back out. Q Morrison cuts, which allows Robinson to go into her low post move.
You know, Calaiya has quietly improved her game in so many ways. She's a great passer, and she's now 3 for 3 at the foul line tonight, and she has raised her free throw percentage up to 71%. Now 4 for 4 with that make right there. Stolen away. Cole initiated the steal. Caldwell crossover dribble and puts it in with the left hand and one.
Fundamental yet crafty at the same time by Maya Caldwell off the bounce. Quick crossover, goes to her left hand because Mason's riding her right hip, switches that hand in the air, finishes, and draws the foul.
So Maya Caldwell at the foul line. She's got 4 points, now 6 points with that basket right there. The and one makes it 7, and Georgia's 9 for 10 as a team at the foul line tonight.
Great growth by this young UGA team. What was an Achilles heel, the free throw shooting, they've now turned into a positive.
Dungy turns to face the basket. Just having a tough night now, 2 for 9 from the floor. Cole dishes to Caldwell, steps through the defense and draws the foul. So 2 more free throws coming up for Caldwell.
Love the composure by Caldwell, love the patience. Sees that the defense is streaking by her, goes to the jump stop, step through to get that foul and get to the free throw line.
Georgia has nearly doubled up Arkansas points in the paint. And so Caldwell now 2 for 2 at the line.
Great setup dish, starts with Cole. The strength of Caldwell to take Malika Monk up with her and get that foul.
This can't be the same Georgia team we saw shooting less than 50% at the foul line in non-conference play. Monk with the left hand. On the other side, it's Williams there to clean it up. She's 4 for 4 from the floor. Morrison working against Tolfree, goes down in a heap, loses the ball out of bounds. Last touch by Arkansas.
Yeah, I thought that was a good no call. Unfortunately, Q Morrison gets kind of tangled up, but the ball stays here with UGA.
The good news in all that is she goes down tumbling and she gets up smiling. So you can tell that, you know, the knee situation no longer on her mind like it had been so early in the season. And Conley gets tangled up with Monk, and Monk is called for the foul.
The perimeters for UGA are just attacking the rim relentlessly right now, and they're basically forcing the officials to call something every time they initiate the contact off a dribble penetration.
So 4 fouls now on Arkansas here in the quarter, not even 2 minutes into the third. Robinson up close, and Georgia up by 14. This is their largest lead. Morrison out and running for Georgia. And Arkansas dangerously close to getting blown out here in this second half. The way things have started, Georgia's outscored them 9-2 in this third quarter.
Well, there's a difference between playing fast and playing frantic. I feel like a couple of these shots early in this third quarter have been a little frantic in nature for Arkansas versus the fast style of play that Coach Neighbors wants.
Foul's going to be called on Caldwell coming over the back. Lob inside for Williams. Cole comes over to help and commits the foul.
Great help side team defense by Taja Cole. Unfortunately, gets a lot of the hand and arm on that pass.
Joni Taylor, she is here less than, or just a little more than 48 hours after giving birth to her second child, Drew Simone, Tuesday morning. not the acting coach here today, really just kind of an observatory role, if you will, with Karen Lang calling the shots as the acting coach. They've had this plan in place for quite some time. Dungey spin move, and Cole forces her into the turnover. Nope, Williams gets it. Block shot by Robinson. Block shot again. No, this time gets it up over Robinson. Wow, Williams has really battled inside against Calaiya Robinson and Jenna Stady tonight, and she has not missed a shot. She's 5 for 5 and has 10 points.
Yeah, but that started with Gabby Conley committing the cardinal sin. You never save the ball under your opponent's ball club. And unfortunately, a number of UGA players assumed it was going out of bounds, which allowed Arkansas that second chance opportunity.
Wow, Georgia just out-hustled Arkansas to the ball right there. Dungey gave up on it, and Georgia was able to save it and get points with an easy basket for Morrison.
I mean, we've talked about Dungey's struggle on the offensive end, and credit Taja Cole for that. There's definitely a frustration that Dungey is exuding, and that's because the speed of Taja Cole. For every counter move that Dungey is making, Cole is there to cut it off.
Second foul called on Robinson puts Williams at the line. Kiera Williams coming off a season-high 14 points, career highs of 17 rebounds and 7 blocks on Sunday. With 10 points and 4 rebounds here tonight. That's the first shot she's missed of any kind. Morrison by herself. Georgia really shredding the Arkansas defense right now with pinpoint pass.
Well, they're taking what Arkansas is giving them from an offensive perspective, UGA is, and that time I think Q was about to go set an up screen, read that her defender cheated the screen and just flashed to the block.
Caldwell called for her second foul. And that'll be the 4th team foul on Georgia in the quarter, so both teams with one more foul will be in the bonus. Karen Lang, 21 years as an assistant coach, the last 4 here at the University of Georgia on Jody Taylor's staff. Also had stops at Kansas, Virginia Tech, and Charlotte. Head coach at NAIA Mid-American Nazarene in Oklahoma, actually in Kansas for 1 season as well. And a coach that Mackenzie Ingram's very familiar with.
It's hard to stop them, and that's exactly what's going on right now. They're really feeling themselves. They're getting down low in transition, and they're just playing good basketball right now.
Yes, indeed, they are. Georgia shooting 50% from the floor. Getting to the foul line, 12 free throw attempts for the Lady Bulldogs tonight. They've outscored the Razorbacks 32-18 points in the paint, a very familiar script. This is the same thing they were able to do 3 weeks ago, Coach, in Fayetteville.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Yes, they're scoring, and they're scoring at a high rate, but I'm going to go back to the defense right now. They are frustrating Arkansas every possession down, making every entry pass difficult, clogging up lanes, beating them to spots off dribble penetration. And in the open, I talked about Dungey and how prolific she is off the bounce. Well, Taja Cole's just frustrating her right now because she is beating her to the spots off of the bounce.
Morrison just with the 2nd free throw miss for Georgia tonight. Able to get the 2nd. Biggest lead of the night for Georgia, 16 points. They've outscored the Razorbacks 14-5 in the quarter. Golden in trouble, has it swiped. Ahead for Cole, gonna run it down and miss the layup. A little bit out of control that time. Ahead to Mason. Mason missed the layup. Good defense by Georgia getting back. Ahead to Caldwell.
And Karen Lang calling for that ball to get pulled out. I think that's one of those possessions. She just wants to get this ball club settled in the half court to execute together offensively.
Caldwell off the rim. Thomas the rebound. Arkansas trying to push, but it's hard to push when you're not making baskets, and they have not been able to do that here in this quarter. That'll be an offensive foul on Dungy. Third foul on Dungy. And so now Dungy, Monk, Tolfree's got 4. They've got foul trouble as we have reached our timeout here in the third quarter. Georgia in command in this third quarter and leading by 16. Gymnastics takes over the SEC network every Friday night, and tomorrow night, number 7 Georgia Gym Dogs and the number 3 Florida Gators square off in Gainesville at 7 Eastern. Then it's 5th-ranked LSU and Arkansas from the barn. Friday Night Heights is also streaming live on the ESPN app. Coach, how about the battle of the Bauman sisters, Alyssa and Rachel? One for Georgia, one for Florida. That's a family divided.
I have yet to make it to an SEC gymnastics meet. It is on my bucket list because I hear it's something you cannot miss. But all I know is that I can't do a forward roll. So to watch these athletes compete is just mesmerizing to me.
All I know is the parents have got to be extremely conflicted with their daughters split between Georgia and Florida.
Well, and right now this Arkansas offense is conflicted. Taja Cole beats Dungy to the spot again, and that's frustration by Dungy, just trying to get the shot off, initiating the contact. Correct call by the officials. And now we're seeing out of the break, Arkansas switch up their defense and go to a 2-3 zone.
Danetta Johnson, 3-point attempt. Rebound is battled for, won by Arkansas, and Dungy fouled by Cole, trying to steal it from her. And that'll be the third personal foul on Cole.
As well as UGA is playing, I don't feel like Arkansas is out of this game. We know they can knock down the long ball. We know how quickly they like to score, therefore they can score in bunches. Those kind of silly fouls UGA needs to avoid, because this is where Arkansas is at their best, where they're at the free throw line, knocking them down, then they get back in the half court to set up the defense.
Just the 6th point for Dungy, the number 2 scorer in the SEC, who's averaging 21 points per game in conference action.
Matt, winning that last break, she had 5 points and 5 turnovers. And that's how uncharacteristic a night it has been for this young lady.
Like we said, she's kind of like a microwave. She can heat up really quick. And so anytime you've got Chelsea Dungy on your side, she can get going in a hurry. She did that against Auburn.
As in microwave Johnson?
Vinnie Johnson, that's right.
We're dating ourselves now. Another athlete with a great step-back move.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. Cole drops it off for Stady. Georgia turns it over. It's a 3-on-2 for Arkansas. Golden to the wing. Dungy buries the 3-pointer. And you get a little nervous if you're Coach Karen Lang, because you don't want to see any kind of spark for Chelsea Dungy, because that'll light a fire.
Well, for those fans who have not watched Arkansas play, that's transition at its best for them. They're not looking to get a layup. They don't want 2. Why settle for 2 when you can get the 3? But it started with Arkansas's defense. They swarmed and sprinted and covered for one another out of that 2-3 zone the last possession. Rebound for Thomas.
Arkansas comes down the floor, a chance to get it below double digits on this possession. Golden goes by the defense and does it. So Atiana Golden, they call her IT. She's out of Americus, Georgia. Sparks this Arkansas offense, and now the Razorbacks are down only 9. Arkansas has cut the Georgia lead to 59-50. Razorbacks trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. And Mac, you know, it's interesting, Coach Neighbors, despite the 5-game losing streak, doesn't feel like they played that poorly during this streak.
Yes, and shoot around. Mike Neighbors, just his attitude was just so different for a team on a 5-game losing streak. He was confident, he was positive. He says that he tries to be uplifting for the girls and knows that we're going to take the lesson from these losses and carry them forward, and that's what they've been doing.
Thanks, Mac. Yeah, really, you take a look at it. They have not won since Georgia beat them 80-72 in Fayetteville, at the time snapping a 4-game winning streak for Arkansas. That included a rather historic 1-point win at Tennessee.
Well, what I see in these last 5 games, less UGA are 4 NCAA teams right now that are in the tournament. And so that's what he meant by, hey, we're playing well, it's just the competition's gone up, and we just haven't made enough plays to win each game.
And the last 2 were 1-possession games, then falling to 4 and 3 in those 1-possession games. Conley the miss, and Arkansas a chance to whittle that Georgia lead a little bit more here on this possession. And reach and foul on Conley. Conley picks up her 3rd personal foul.
Sorry, Matt. When we talk about how fast they like to play, Arkansas that is, and how they're never out of a game, 7-0 run in 1:30. That's what forced Karen Lane to call that last timeout. That's how quickly they can score and turn a game in a heartbeat.
And here in just the last couple of moments, you've had Dungy hit a 3, and now she's gone 3 for 3 at the foul line with another free throw coming up here.
Well, that old saying, never poke the bear.
Yeah.
I think someone poked Dungy because she is on fire as of the last 3 minutes.
She now has 11 points to tie Williams for team high honors.
And credit the switch to this 2-3 zone. UGA has not scored since Arkansas went to the 2-3.
8-0 run. Georgia's lead has been knocked down to 7 from a high of 16. And another turnover for Georgia as Arkansas a chance to cut this lead down to 4 with a 3. Northcross Baker off the back iron. Thomas battles for the rebound. Snagged away by Calaiya Robinson. McKenzie, you got some thoughts on this zone?
Yes, I know when I played, we really struggled when a team went zone on us, and that's definitely not our favorite defense tonight, or at all, actually. And you can see Arkansas playing a really good zone against the Georgia Dogs.
Yeah, Georgia finally scores for the first time since Arkansas went to the zone with that basket by Calaiya. Hugh Morrison gets down on the deck to take it away. Approaching 1 minute to play in this 3rd quarter.
Well, the zone's been twofold. It's slowed UGA down from an offensive execution perspective, and then it allowed Arkansas to get back and score. And every time they scored, that prevented UGA from getting out and running in transition. So it's almost chicken or egg. But there's the best egg of all when you knock it down like Gabby Conley.
No doubt about it. That's her first 3-pointer of the game. She had been 1 for 11 over the last 3 games on her threes until hitting that one. Arkansas with some trouble, and the violation, or did they get a timeout? No, they got a 5-second violation on Williams, who had no place to go with it. And that's where she's got to get some help. She's a big, she's not going to dribble the ball out of there. Someone's got to come and help her out.
Well, I almost feel like the 4 shooters just spotted up and didn't. I mean, I think they just thought it was going to be an easy kick out for her. Unfortunately, Calaiya Robinson was clogging up her passing lanes.
So Georgia back up by 12, 2 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock here, as we're down under 20 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. Inside, Robinson had it fumbled off her hands, and then she collides with the defender out of bounds. And so Arkansas will get a final shot here. Golden races up the floor, all the way through, and lays it in. How about that? Atiana Golden raced all the way the length of the floor, uncontested layup, and cuts it to 10 here at the end of the 3rd quarter. Big finish for the Razorbacks to end what was a rather disappointing 3rd quarter for them, but Dungy starting to come alive. This game's not over yet as we head to the 4th. Georgia leading Arkansas 64-54 as we head to the fourth quarter here in Athens. Matt Stewart, Coach Christy Thomas Cuddy, and Mackenzie Ingram with you as the Lady Bulldogs go for the season sweep of the Razorbacks. It's been an upsetting February for a lot of teams at the top of women's college basketball.
Upsetting for those home fan bases, but it's for a general basketball fan like myself, it's great because it's showing parity. Last week, we saw Oregon State upset Oregon. Louisville upset by Miami. And then here in SEC play, Mizzou go into Starkville and beat then a #1 seed Mississippi State.
Well, you got a big battle going on between Kentucky and South Carolina right now in Columbia, and a possible top 10 upset developing in College Park, Maryland.
And that would be huge because according to our buddy Charlie Crean, he feels like if Maryland loses to Minnesota tonight, that could drop them all the way from a 3 seed to a 4 seed. And the other one, if Kentucky could pull off the upset against South Carolina, he thinks that could possibly move Kentucky into a top 16 seed, which obviously means the ability to host the first and second round.
That was the 10th steal for Georgia tonight, and the easy layup for Caldwell as the Lady Bulldogs go up by 12 here early in the fourth. Dungy, backdoor cut, Toll-free, and one. Toll-free been quiet here in the second half, had 9 points to lead the Razorbacks in the first 2 quarters. That's her first basket of the second half.
Well, she drew that 4th foul, so she she sat the majority of the third quarter, makes her impact felt immediately with that backdoor cut and foul.
And one opportunity right here for Toll-free. Missed that opportunity, but Dungy got the rebound and the putback. It's a 4-point play for Arkansas.
I just always believe to give up an offensive rebound when you're defensive rebounding at the free throw line, just a cardinal sin. You have more players up there. UGA just didn't find a body in box.
Danetta Johnson, the freshman, getting the most run by the Lady Bulldogs youngsters here tonight. And Dungy's going to the foul line.
Such explosiveness off the bounce by Dungy. Just found the lane and attacked hard and drew the foul.
That's on Cole, that's number 4, and it is. So let's see if they keep Taja Cole in the game here with her picking up her 4th foul. Dungy now with 15 points. She's 6 of 7 at the line.
And so they're going to ride Q here with 4 fouls. So what they're going to do is switch Q Morrison on to Dungy now to allow Taja not to have to play and potentially pick up that 5th foul on Dungy.
8-point lead for Georgia here in the opening minute of the 4th quarter. Lady Bulldogs have led by as much as 16. Nice inlet pass there to Caldwell. She got fouled. Taja Cole's like, come on, that was my 9th assist.
Great patience. Great patience by UGA, though, against the zone to make the zone adjust side to side, patient, and then they get the high percentage shot down low.
Caldwell's got 11 points. This is the 5th time in the last 7 games she's gone double figures. She had 12 when they played Arkansas 3 weeks ago. 11 against Alabama, 12 against Arkansas, as I mentioned, 11 against Florida, 15 season high against Ole Miss just a couple of nights ago. And now she's at 12 here again against Arkansas.
And I think they're going right at Cole, knowing that she has the 4 fouls. Mike Neighbors called the set and told them exactly what to do.
Yeah, I would be. Toll-free stayed with it and got the basket. She's now got 13. And Dungy just got fouled by Taja Cole. If indeed it's on Cole, she's done for the night. And no, it's not going to be on Cole, thankfully, for Georgia. Instead, Calaiya Robinson whistled for that foul. That's number 3 on her.
And that's probably the best assist Calaiya Robinson can take for her team today, to get that foul instead of Cole. Again, anytime as a player, if you swipe down, it's almost an automatic whistle by the official.
So Dungy's now got 16 points. She had 5 at halftime. Caldwell snags the rebound. 4 boards for Caldwell to go along with her 12 points. Cole, rocket pass off Caldwell's hands. Turnover for Georgia, number 15.
And right now, Arkansas has 17 points off those 15 turnovers by UGA. The saving grace for UGA is they have 19 points off of Arkansas's turnovers.
Tiara Williams now with 13 points. She's having another big game here tonight, keeping them in it. They're down only 4 after trailing by 16 just 8 minutes ago. And Cole with her 3rd basket gives her 6 on the night.
So effortlessly done, but such a big basket for UGA because it felt like all the momentum was going Arkansas's way.
Double team at toll-free. Somebody's open somewhere.
Monk's another one of those players that's been very quiet this evening. Until then.
Exactly, got the layup right there. That's just her 3rd basket. Gives her 6 on the night. Back to a 4-point game. Got to give Arkansas a lot of credit. There was a time there, Coach, in that 3rd quarter where it looked like they were going to get blown out.
Well, and this is where it goes back to what McKenzie was saying in her report. All the credit goes to Mike Neighbors and his staff. He is so steady. He never gets too high or too low after a game. And therefore, this team processes it, a win or a loss, the same way. Those 5 losses, hey, they've just moved on. They've taken the good with the bad. They've learned, they've matured, and we're seeing it right now as they've climbed their way back in this game.
Big offensive rebound for Williams. Mike Neighbors pointing at Dee Cantor as she runs up the floor. He was screaming at her, thought that Williams had been fouled.
Well, let's not forget, he already had 1 technical, so he needs to be a little bit careful not to pick up that second one and be ejected.
To the corner, Q Morrison hit the 3-pointer. Q Morrison with her 3rd 3-pointer. She has 3 of Georgia's 5 trays tonight.
And this is why I say this team has grown and evolved. So much scoring pressure was on Calaiya Robinson, Taja Cole, and Gabby Conley throughout the first 2 months of the season. Now we're seeing contributions in a big way by Maya Caldwell, by Q Morrison, and tonight, Danetta Johnson as well.
Yeah, Q Morrison, season high 14 points tonight. You see her numbers, the 3.5, not indicative of the type player that she is. Those numbers are just going to be low because of all the time that she missed, and when she came back, her ineffectiveness when she came back. But it looks like Q Morrison's back. 14 tonight, new season high. She's played another 31 minutes. That means 97 minutes for Q Morrison in the last 3 games.
Here's how I know she's back. We've seen that smile on her face so much more in recent games. And this is a team that feeds off Q's, not only physical energy, but positive energy as well.
Well, she just picked up her 2nd personal foul. And that puts Dungy at the line as the Razorbacks are already in the bonus. Tuesday, we'll have men's college hoops, a doubleheader. It starts at 7 Eastern with Missouri and Mississippi State in Starkville. Those Bulldogs right here in Athens last night and got a big win, controversial win. Then it's number 4 Kentucky hosting Arkansas at Rupp Arena. Both games right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app, so you can watch them anywhere, wherever you go.
Well, man, I had 2 big questions coming in tonight's game. Would Joni Taylor be in the house? And would they throw out those little Bulldog stuffed animals before the game? Because that is what drew the technical last night that enabled Mississippi State to win the game when a fan threw it on the court.
No doubt about it. Mason hits the jumper. Mason, second basket of the ball game for her, and Arkansas keeps stride with Georgia here at 76-70 with approaching 5 minutes to play in regulation. Nearly stolen away by Tollfree, pardon me. Six on the shot clock. Cole looking for a shot with 2. Hit it! Shot clock winding all the way down, just 2 seconds to spare. Puts Georgia back up by 8.
That was a tremendous jumper by Tadra Cole, because there wasn't anything squared with her when she left the ground and just did it all in the air to knock down that jumper.
Mason the miss. Dungy got the rebound, lobbed it up there awkwardly with the left hand. That's how she gets to the free throw line so much. There's not a shot she won't take.
I love the fearlessness. I love her attacking nature, and that's what she did on that shot attempt. She was trying to make the official make the call.
Absolutely. Cole off the iron this time. Mason the rebound for Arkansas. 4 minutes to play. Golden, nice shot. Atiana Golden now with 12 points against her home state team. Big night for her, 6 of 7 from the floor, keeping Arkansas in it. It's a 6-point game with just under 4 to play. Well, if the SEC tournament started today, and we're just a couple of weeks away from that, Georgia and Arkansas would meet again in the second round. And the real battle is for the top 4 seeds, because you get the double bye. Mississippi State, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Kentucky all holding on to what would be top 4 seeds right now. But Missouri at number 5 is right in the mix as well.
So Missouri has tonight off. Meanwhile, we showed the score earlier between South Carolina and Kentucky. If South Carolina hangs on to win that game, Kentucky falls into a tie with Missouri for that 4th place. However, they would have the tiebreaker because Kentucky beat Missouri earlier this season.
Mike Neighbors, his team, 5-7 in the SEC. Last time Arkansas had 6+ wins in the SEC was 3 seasons ago. They've already won twice, or 2 more SEC games than they won all of last year. Let's check in with Mackenzie. She was over there in the Georgia huddle.
Yes, in the huddle, Coach Karen was just telling the girls to calm down, to lock in and settle in, to look at the score and see that we are still up, and to know that as long as we take care of the ball, we'll win the game.
Conley just knocked down the 3. That gives her 12. 4 Lady Bulldogs in double figures right now. Oh, wow. Just enough to get it over the rim.
You would have thought we were in Fayetteville the way she got that ball to fall through the rim. I mean, when she let it go, I'm not sure how she got through the defenders to get it up, but tremendous finish by Tollfree off the bounce.
Nice pass by Robinson, and Cole got fouled. She'll go to the foul line. I think that's one of the things, and I mentioned it briefly early on, Coach. Calaiya Robinson has really developed a really nice passing game.
Well, she's always had that passing game, but what I'm seeing is there's more patience to that game in recent games because she's reading what the defense has given her, whereas I felt like earlier this season she may have forced a shot or just killed her dribble versus finding the open teammate. She's a well-rounded player.
No
Calaiya Robinson is. Between the offense, the defense, the block shots, the assist, she has the ability night in, night out to have that triple-double. Whether it's been injuries, sickness, we just haven't seen it all the time, but we are seeing in the last 5 games her start to put it all together. She's playing at such a high level.
21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists for Robinson tonight, as well as 3 blocks and 2 steals. Now that's a line score.
You have to love when your team comes out of timeouts and executes. And what I loved after that pass was Calaiya pointed to Karen Lang, and Karen Lang pointed back at Calaiya Robinson as though, I got you, coach. Good call, we got you.
Inside, Paul got it up and in. Georgia back up by 10 with 2.5 to play.
Well, since that last timeout, UGA has come out and scored on 3 possessions, all well-executed half-court plays. And now Karen Lang is telling Taja Cole, slow down. They want to work this clock up right now with a 10-point lead. Let's wait to shoot until under single digits.
This is the 3rd quarter that Georgia scored at least 20 points. They went for 22, 23, 19, and now 20. Pass for Robinson off of her fingertips, out of bounds. But Georgia had run the clock down to 2.
So unfortunately they didn't score, but it's not a total loss because you're right. They took off 28 seconds off the game clock.
Monk charges right at the defense, gives it up. Mason, the floater, puts it in. Jalen Mason averages 7 a game, and she's got 8 now.
And that one thing, if you remember, right before the half, Mike Neighbors had to call timeout to calm his team down. Right now, they only have 1 timeout left to go in this game, which really pigeonholes Coach Neighbors because of what he could potentially do in terms of advancement of the ball, getting his team set.
Foul's called on Mason. That's number 4 on her. Georgia's not yet in the shooting bonus. Oh, wow, nicely done. Arkansas fell asleep on that one. That's assist number 5 for Calaiya Robinson tonight.
I was just about to say, and who did the assist come from? None other than Calaiya Robinson. Great read to see the defense had broken down.
Williams underneath, nicely done by Williams. That gives her 15 tonight. They go along with 7 boards.
And this is the hard part for this Arkansas ball club. They're not a team that can come back late in games because they really don't press. Great execution by UGA. You see Arkansas's players get confused. Smart play by Taja Cole to step in. And then Mason answers with a dump down to Williams down low. She knows that she's going against the 2nd best shot blocker in the league. Gets Calaiya Robinson up in the air and finishes.
Back-to-back season highs for Williams. She had 14 against Kentucky, now 15 against Georgia here tonight. Georgia up by 8 with a minute to play. Foul called on Monk, and that'll be number 4 on her. And absolutely one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, stepping up to the line until missing one at the line on Monday night. She had not missed a free throw in SEC play this season. 25 of 26. Oh my gosh.
As soon as you started spouting those stats, I'm like, don't jinx it.
She's now 25 of 27 on free throws in the SEC this season. Should I give her overall numbers or just wait?
Let's wait.
Okay. So now she's 52 for 58 on the season.
And Arkansas's got to push pace. I expect a driving kick or Monk trying to get all the way to the rim.
To the corner, 3-pointer, Northcross Baker. That's your 3rd 3-pointer of the night. And a quick timeout called by Neighbors as Arkansas makes it a 2-possession game with that 3-pointer.
And here's the key. I spoke a moment ago about how Arkansas doesn't really get up and press. And so that forces Coach Neighbors to call a timeout now to get his defensive set versus where most coaches in this situation would be looking to advance the ball into the half court to save time off the clock.
So Arkansas has been down by as much as 16 here in this second half, and they have just kept battling Georgia. But now time has nearly run out on them, down 6 with 52 seconds to play. Chelsea Dungy came alive in the second half. Had 5 at halftime. She scored 13 here in the second half. Not been a great shooting night for her. Most of her damage has come at the free throw line. Meantime, Georgia's gotten another 20-point game from Calaiya Robinson, her 6th of the season, and another double-double, her 8th.
And so the key for UGA right now is just take care of the ball. They know that Arkansas has to foul. You want to get that ball in the hands of Gabby Conley. Still your most consistent free throw shooter, even though as a whole, this ball club has gotten better. And we see Joni Taylor coaching up her point guard.
She's just taking it easy. Hey, doctor, don't worry. I'm going to go there. I'm going to sit on the bench. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get my, blood pressure elevated. I'm just going to watch.
That's where the doctor just rolled his eyes
exactly, because he knew that was not possible. Here's the press and the foul by Arkansas. And Mike Neighbors' long-running battle with the officials tonight continues. He's incredulous with the call.
When he's doing some offensive, defensive substituting right now, he put in some players that weren't in foul trouble to try to go for the steal. And that's what he's arguing right now. He didn't think there was a foul. His players were trying to go for a steal, and yet they were called for the foul.
So Georgia now in the bonus finally with that foul right there. And Gabby Conley back there at the line. Conley with 13 points tonight. This amounts to a free throw shooting slump for her. She's missed 3 times in the last 2 games.
And so now Arkansas is at a timeout. So make or miss right now. I expect the ball to get in Monk's hands and her try to create off the bounce and draw defense. Now for UGA, give up the 2. You do not want to foul. You do not want to give up the 3.
So Conley now with 14 tonight. Georgia by 7 as the clock winds down. Monk races across. Going to give it up to Toll-Free. She's going to run in. Robinson runs at her. She gets it up over Robinson for the basket. And here comes the foul. And North Cross Baker gets her hands on Q Morrison and will put her at the foul line. And Morrison's not much of a better option for Arkansas. She's 10 of 12 at the foul line this season. Limited size sample.
Well, this is just the marked improvement of this UGA ball club. Matt, throughout the non-conference portion of the game, we were very critical of the free throw shooting of this team. And what we're seeing is this team has improved from 61% in the non-conference to where they're shooting 76% now. That helps you close out games and win ball games.
Season high for Q Morrison, 16 points in her 36 minutes. They go along with 4 rebounds, make that 5 of 7 from the floor. It's good to have her back. I know Georgia's happy that she's returned to her former self. And a foul called on Arkansas.
And I have to just say this about Arkansas right now. It goes back to what Mackenzie said earlier, what we've been talking about with this team and their culture and how they're focused on the process. They missed that shot, and all Mike Neighbors is saying is great execution, and the players are proud of the execution. And that's, as a head coach, that's all you can ask for, a shot opportunity and that you execute to the highest level.
Georgia, with this win, will improve to 7-6. They will get a bump in the RPI here. They came in at 111, which I'm sure you know is not good as far as an NCAA tournament resume. But Arkansas above them in the RPI, so they will get some numbers here, even though it is a home win for them, so the number would not be quite as big as had it been on the road. Dungy step back. Ball loose. Monk missed it. Cole got the rebound, got fouled. So Cole will go to the foul line. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists for Taja Cole. Another game where you can say, you know what, this was a near
triple-double. She's had 4 games this season where she was kind of in the neighborhood of a possible triple-double, where she was either a man just went down on the floor. Hopefully he's okay. A gentleman that was sitting on the front row.
Well, what happened is he had one of those little soft basketball Nerf balls in his hands, and it fell out of his hands, and he was trying to save it before it went on the floor, and unfortunately he fell to the floor.
Well, hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's okay, and that's good. And the officer there is going to make sure everything's okay.
Well, this wasn't a replay of last night. That's all we have to say for any UGA fan out there. Yeah. It was a true accident that this man dropped the ball.
And Stephanie Paul grabs the rebound. Georgia can run out the clock. Well, Joni Taylor heads off the floor. She's not going to stick around to see the final minutes. Waves goodbye to the crowd as she heads down the tunnel. Has a baby to take care of. But she also had a basketball team to take care of tonight. JC meets her in the hallway. They're headed home. Georgia's got a 93-83 victory. They're 7-6 in the SEC.
I'll say it again, I just feel like UGA right now is hitting their stride. We saw great offensive execution in spurts tonight. We saw them score from their defense. But I think the winner tonight was the UGA defense. The way they frustrated Dungy and Monk in the half court was tremendous.
Georgia now 16-10, at least for the moment. They've broken that 3-way tie for 7th with Tennessee and LSU. Calaiya Robinson, another spectacular night. She goes for 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, a couple of steals. Gabby Conley kind of snapped out of her mini slump with 14. Q Morrison had a season high 16. And Maya Caldwell another double-figure game with 12. And now for Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy and Mackenzie Ingram. Thanks for her joining us tonight as well. Georgia wins it 93-83. So long from the Stegman Coliseum.